Welcome back to Coffee with Mia. Grab your coffee or your favorite beverage, and let's find out if this episode is about you or someone you know. You know what's funny? No one thinks they're stubborn. It's always the other person. Your husband is stubborn. Your wife is stubborn. Your mother is stubborn. Your friend, she's stubborn. And we can say that because, you know what? We know what we're talking about. When we think we're right about something, we just dig in and we stand by the way we feel. And sometimes, maybe when that tiny voice in the back of our head is saying, well, maybe you're not completely right. It doesn't matter. We're already too far in. We've made our argument. We've presented Exhibit A, Exhibit B, Exhibit C, and so on. We may have even called for backup. Now, there's no turning back. But seriously, why are we stubborn? Because stubbornness isn't always about the thing that we're arguing about. Sometimes it's about pride. Sometimes it's about control. Because changing our minds, well, that feels too much like we're losing. And sometimes we've believed something for so long that questioning it feels like we're questioning ourselves. And that's where it gets interesting, because there's a difference between standing your ground and simply refusing to move. Standing your ground means, I've thought about this. I know what matters to me, and this is a boundary or belief, and I'm comfortable defending it. Now, stubbornness sounds like, I don't care what you say. I've already decided. Those are not the same thing. And listen, I'm all for knowing who you are. I'm all for having standards. I'm all for saying no. I'm all for not letting someone talk you into something that you know isn't right. Something you know that isn't right for you. But there are also moments when being willing to say, you know what, maybe I was wrong. And that's one of the strangest things someone can say. Why is that sentence so hard? I mean, seriously, we're willing to say, well, maybe I could have seen it differently. Or, I see what you're saying. Or maybe say, that's not exactly what I meant. Say anything but I was wrong. And relationships can suffer because of that. Think of how many arguments keep going long after the problem is over. At some point, no one even remembers what started the argument. Now we're wondering about the way someone said something, until something from years ago gets introduced. And before you know it, you're arguing about something that happened at Thanksgiving in 2019. At some point, someone has to realize that they have to stop trying to win. Because what are you exactly winning? You proved your point, but now no one's talking to each other. Okay, what do you want me to say? Congratulations, or would you like a medal for all this? There's another kind of stubbornness too, and I think this one gets overlooked. Being stubborn with ourselves. We keep doing something one way because that's the way we've always done it. We stay in routines that don't work. We refuse advice because, you know what? I already know. I think I know better. We stay committed to decisions simply because we made them. But because something made sense for 5 years, that doesn't mean it makes sense today. You are allowed to change your mind. You're allowed to say, you know what, this doesn't fit me anymore. You're allowed to learn something new and let it change you. That doesn't make you inconsistent. That just means you're paying attention. And here's another one. Sometimes we confuse stubbornness with strength. But you know what? Real strength doesn't have to prove itself every 5 minutes. Strong people can listen. Strong people can reconsider. Strong people can apologize. Strong people can hear another opinion without feeling like their whole identity is being threatened. That's confidence. So the next time you feel yourself digging your heels in, and believe me, we all know that feeling, maybe ask yourself one question. What am I actually defending? Is it something I truly believe? Is it a boundary? Is it something important? Or is it my ego? Because I don't want to have to admit that somebody else has a point. Your ego may be bruised, but you know what? You may have to accept that someone else has a point. But think about it. Maybe right now there's something you're holding on to, maybe a little too tight. Maybe it's an argument. Maybe it's an old decision. Maybe it's a grudge. Maybe it's an opinion or a way of doing things. Maybe you don't have to abandon what you believe, but maybe you could leave the door cracked a little open, just enough to ask, is there another way to look at this? Because changing your mind doesn't mean you lost. Maybe you learned. And sometimes the strongest words you can say all week will be, you know what? You may be right, although you may promise not to say it first. This has been Coffee with Mia. Have your coffee, have your opinion. Just make sure you're not holding on to it just because you're too stubborn to let it go. As always, I thank you for spending your time with me, and I will see you in the next episode.